Hello, gorgeous souls. If you are seeing this right now, and it doesn't matter when, this is timeless, you are being called to heal. So, welcome. I invite you to stay magical, healing. With me, my name is Sage, and I am following my guidance with God within. However you choose to see. But we were all made in God's image. We all have God residing within. And we are all moved in the likeness thereof. So I mentioned if you are watching this, you are being called to heal. And what I have learned is that one of the first steps, if not the first step in healing, is forgiveness. Forgiveness of your past, forgiveness of yourself, forgiveness of other people. Because with forgiveness, there is atonement. And there's miracles involved. Now, forgiveness can seem like a challenge. But when you take an honest look at your hurt and all of your experiences, you can then give yourself permission to leave the past in the past. The only thing that matters right now is the present, the here and now. That's where the power is. So when we think about healing, I smile. It's something I can look back on now, and I can see the pain in my experiences and challenges with a smile now and an open mind, knowing that I grew and I learned. I came, I saw. And it's really such a profound experience with God. There really is no words to the revelations and things that proceed from. I come from a past that I've seen a lot and experienced a lot, and I'm sure there's much more to come because we are ever learning. So one of the things, or maybe some of the things I've had to deal with that you may relate to or connect with, is the darkness, depression, anxiety. A big bold underline on depression and darkness. I had a darkness about me that just had its claws and gripped right into my very, very life and body. You know, I was a self-harmer. So I'm a recovering self-harmer. I felt, there was a few aspects to that. I, for one, experienced this idea that I needed to be punished. 2, I wanted to feel something. I had so much pain, so much agony within my mind, my body, my spirit. It was so intense that it manifested as a physical pain. And I wanted to feel anything, something different, even just a different kind of pain. So I would cut myself. Or even, there's many different ways of self-harm, and I'm not going to get into that. But, I was in a very dark place, and there was one day, because I dealt with the chatter in my ears of the darkness and things that it wanted me to do. So I started doing these things where I had actually started carving words into my arm, and that's how I got this. Because I never finished the last carving. All the times it wanted me to cut my own throat or, leave these big wounds on myself. Instead, I carved hope. It was my way of combating it. And then next was love. And love made it to my canvas. And faith was next. But I made a promise to myself that I wouldn't do that anymore. So instead I got the anchor with a cross, a heart, and then like the rest is an anchor. It's a symbol of hope, love, and faith with the semicolon that even in the greatest depths of my despair, I could have chosen to end my story. But this is a reminder that I didn't. And it's always a reminder when I still have those feelings come up, which isn't all that often anymore, because I feel pretty confident in the overcoming factor. It's a reminder of why I don't. And honestly, sometimes it pisses me off. But sometimes we need to be pissed off to wake us up and recenter our focus back to the reality. Because all of this stuff, depression, anxiety causes fear. And fear is but an illusion. I'm here to tell you that your fears are created in your mind. It never really truly existed. That is a human-made thing. It was never intended. So once we start to forgive and really wrap our minds around the meaning of true forgiveness, we are set free. And then we move towards these wonderful new ideas of what life really is. And faith comes into that. Faith is a beautiful thing and could be a whole nother video. I lost what I was going to say. You will be made new. That's the whole point of forgiveness and being set free. You will be made new, and there is no fear. See, the darkness used to come for me every night, quite literally. I've heard and seen things that other people don't, and I can feel presences in the room. But I had this shift happen where the demons in the night became less and less real because we make them real. This idea that darkness can hide is an illusion. It cannot hide from the light. So once we shine light on this darkness and realize that this fear doesn't really exist because the darkness really incites a lot of fear, then, you shine this light and it begins to dissolve because it's not real. So what I have found, and my grandma taught me this, ignore it. Those things that are dark. Ignore it. As if it's not even there. And I put that into practice. I stopped seeing shadows. I stopped, having these mental images, the horrific ones, all the way down to bloody and gory and just horrific. All this began to fall away when I realized that it doesn't truly exist. Because we are creators in this world. We have been created in the image of our Creator. So we have this ability to manifest and create, whether it is fantasy, illusion, or in fact real. So, forgiveness. Forgiveness is, I would say, the first step in healing. Take a look at your life and see, what is it are you calling or being called to forgive? Take an honest look and be willing to see with an open mind, however you need to do it. Write it down. I did a lot of that. I did a lot of writing my experiences to release it. It was a lot of, it was dark night of the soul, straight up. Allowing myself to relive what was hurting me so bad. Like my parents, experiences with my parents, and I'll go on more about that at some point. And it was a lot of tears, a lot of hurt. I just totally relived it in my mind as I'm writing. And at the end, he said, "Mom, Dad, I forgive you." And then I wrote to myself, I forgive myself for taking that on as my responsibility when it was never mine to hold, and it's not yours to hold either. Give yourself permission to let go, to forgive, because in that forgiveness it sets you free. And once you set you free, all those chains and links are then dissolved. And it's like a domino effect. Then once you're free, others begin to be free. And then they can do the same, because we're all being called to heal in this world as a collective, because the new world is coming. It is coming, and there's not going to be a separation between this earth in the physical realm and heaven. That's what it's all about. In the new heaven, there is no need for these things because it doesn't exist. How amazing is it that there will be a day where we won't need this idea of forgiveness, because we are holy and perfect and beautiful just as we are, and we are loved. And as these spiritual beings, we already have this innate air about us. We just are. How cool is that? So, remember who you are. Forgive. And stay magical.